Hey everyone, I'm Jeff Sherman, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to run a successful business. There's actually only one way that's possible to run a successful business, and that is that you have to define and track success in order to know if you have a successful business or not. So a lot of people will start a business and they just hope that it grows, they hope that they make more money than they spend, that they can actually take a paycheck home, but it's almost impossible to sustain, a business over the long term without defining and tracking, your success. So first thing is you have to define what success is in your business. It's different for different business models, different types of people with different goals. So you have to define success for you and for your business. So where does your business need to be 90 days from now, 6 months from now, and a year from now in order for you to consider it a success? It's the classic Dan Sullivan question. Just ask yourself, what does my business need to look like 90 days from now, 6 months from now, and 1 year? So if you're just starting out, 90 days from now, I would like 100 members. 6 months from now, 200 members. At the end of the first year, I would like to be at 300. And then you can put a revenue goal with that. If you're determining success by how much money you're making, put down how much money you need to make, be bringing in versus how much you're spending in 90 days, 6 months, and a year, and just really get clear on where your business needs to be with things that you can track. So, and then after you define those, 90 days, 6 months, 1 year, then from there you just work backwards and you're going to reverse engineer what you need to do to make that happen. Again, so if your goal was, 100 members in your first 90 days, if you work that backwards, that's 30 members, per month. And what you're going to do from there is, what do I need to do to get 30 members each month? And it may not be 30, 30, 30. It could be like 45, 25, and then 20 or whatever. So you just want to, if this is your first month, you want to figure out what I need to do to get 30 plus members. That way, you're at least on pace to reaching that goal. And then same thing with your 6 months, same thing with that year. And then just work backwards, figure out what benchmarks or what milestones you need to hit on a weekly basis, monthly basis. So at the end of that time period, you are where you said you needed to be. So then after that, it's the easy part. You just have to do the work and then track what is or isn't working and then adjust from there. Because if you can't find a way on paper to make it, you're never going to make it there, because nothing ever goes as planned. You could probably account for maybe 25 to 35% of what you can map out on paper to actually happen in reality, because some things are going to work, some things aren't going to work. So you need to be able to pivot and adjust as fast as possible and get back on track. So that way, what I like to do is when I map out that progress on paper, I like to be at 150, maybe even 200% of what my actual goal is. So that way, when we hit the 25 or 35%, we're right on track to reaching our goal. And then you just have to track it. Again, you need to have a process or system in place in order, to make sure that you're on pace to reach your goals. And then to track your success, you need to define what your KPIs are. And your KPIs are your key performance indicators. One of the first questions I ask most of my new coaching clients is just, how many members do you have total? How much are you charging, and how many members do you have total? Well, they usually know how much they're charging, even though they have multiple different price points, which I don't recommend. But 9 out of 10 times, they don't know how many total members they have. And that just blows my mind. That's one of the most simple numbers that you should know is, how many total members you have. And I would say 9 out of 10, are guessing, somewhere around, 100 or somewhere around 70 something. You should know exactly how many members you have. So here's some weekly KPIs for you guys to track. This is what we tracked in my business, and this is what allowed me to be able to pull myself out of my business and just look at these numbers to see the health of my business, see what's working, what's not, where I need to focus, where I need to go in and retrain my team to get these numbers back to where they need to be. So first thing is, how many new opt-ins are you getting? Nowadays with Facebook ads and stuff, people are jumping from list building to just getting customers on their trial memberships or low barrier offers. And getting customers and low barrier offers, fine, but you also want to keep building the interest around your business through your opt-ins, whether it's a 6-month giveaway or 7 at-home workouts or 42 fat-burning recipes or any other kind of list builder that you want to do. It could be offline as well if you're doing like lunch and learns, at a business and collecting email addresses from the people that are, watching your presentation. You always want to be building that email list. Your email list is still the lifeblood of your company if you're doing it right. If you're constantly communicating with them, giving them good quality information, engaging with them, and you might have somebody opt in today that signs up 6 years or a year from now. So it's a compounding thing. The more emails you get, the more sales you're going to make in the future. So you have to constantly be building your email list and tracking how many new opt-ins you are getting. And then next is you want to track how many new leads you're getting. So people always want to know what the difference is between an opt-in and a lead. Somebody that opts in is interested in just getting to know more about you and your business. If it's a 6-month giveaway, they're obviously opting in because they're interested in winning a 6-month membership. You can turn that opt-in into a lead right away by on a thank you page, inviting them in for a free week. That way they can learn the exercises and the proper form, and they don't have to wait until the drawing or whatever to get started, and then you can ask for their phone number. So I like to get a name, email, and phone number to consider a lead, and then them also be opting in for something that's going to bring them actually into your program, not just information like 42 fat burning recipes or 7 at-home workouts or whatever, because they're just opting in saying they're interested in information from you, where a lead is opting in saying they're interested in your actual program and giving you their phone number. Next thing you want to track is how many new trial members you are getting. And a trial member is anybody that is on a low barrier offer. So it could be a free week, it could be a Groupon, it could be 21 days, rapid fat loss program, it could be a 6-week transformation challenge. How many new trial members are you getting, in a week? So you can turn those leads into, trial members. So when you're running a lead ad, you could be talking about, the 21-day program and just getting their name and phone number and email, with them saying that they're interested or applying, and then you can call them up and sell them on the actual 21-day. So that would be turning that lead into a, into a trial member. So you want to track how many new trial members you're getting on a weekly basis. And then from there, you want to track how many appointments you're setting for those trial members. We like to upsell them to our regular memberships within the first week. So we want to bring them in, for that nutrition consultation, and then at the end of the nutrition consultation, use my non-close close and upsell them to our regular membership. So you want to track how many appointments you set, how many appointments showed, and then of course how many appointments you close. So that way you're tracking how many new members you are getting. So for us, we would know that our goal was to get 10 appointments set a week. So we would always want to make sure that we're getting that 10 appointments set, because if half of them showed up, that would be 5 that showed, and then if we could close 3 out of the 5, we would be getting 12, new members each month. And then if we lost 1 or 2 old members, we would be netting 10, and that was always our goal, was to net 10 new members. So at the end of the year, we were increasing our membership base by 120, and that was after we were already established. These weren't goals from the beginning. In the beginning, you can get way more than 10 new members a month. You can average 20, 30 new members a month. But after your business is established, you have a really good base, 200, 300 members, then for me, not being there and my business running without me, the benchmark was to net 10 new members every single month. And everybody that worked for me knew that was the goal, and everybody was on board and behind that goal. So you want to track how many opt-ins you're getting, which is their emails, opting in, not necessarily to come in, but it could be for a 6-month giveaway, 7 at-home workouts, 42 fat-burning recipes, anything like that you can come up with. How many new leads? A lead would be somebody that is opting in with their name, phone number, email, that's showing interest in your actual program and actually coming in and seeing you face to face. A trial member is somebody that's actually already paid a little bit of money, to test out your program. How many people show up for that initial appointment, that nutrition consultation, that you are going to upsell them to your regular membership? How many actually showed, and then how many you closed? You track that on a weekly basis, and I have a spreadsheet that you can track all this stuff with, and at the end, I'll let you know how you can get a hold of that. But the thing here is, like, once you start tracking this in the spreadsheet, and if you're not hitting, how many new members you want each week, you can look back and you can be like, oh, we're only getting, 2 trial members a week, so it's impossible to set, 10 appointments if we're only getting 2 trial members. Well, how can we get more trial members? oh, we need to get more leads, or we need to get more opt-ins, so you can put your resources there. You can create a follow-up program when people opt in. Then you can set up some autoresponders that get them to know, like, and trust you, tell them about your mission, show them some success stories, some of your best clients, share their stories with them, and then offer them the trial membership, or low barrier offer. And so that way you can always look anywhere in the spreadsheet and know what part of the chain is broken, and go back and fix it and make sure that you're hitting your numbers on a weekly basis. It's just like if you've ever had a job as like a cashier. At the end of the day, the last thing you do before you sign out is you count your drawer. You know how much money your drawer had when you started. Then you count how much money your drawer has at the end, and you know what the difference is. And then you track all that, so that way they know you're not pocketing any of the money. But they do that at the end of every single shift. I recommend, as a fitness business owner, the last thing you do on a Friday before you go out to dinner, before you go out, is you log all this information into your spreadsheet, and that way you have the whole weekend to figure out what went right or what went wrong, so you know what you should do again or what you shouldn't do, what changes you need to make sure that you never have more than a bad week. So some monthly KPIs for you to track is going to be your total gross revenue. Obviously, we want our gross revenue to grow. One of the good things about our business is that most of our expenses are fixed. So as our gross revenue grows, our net percentage, our net should be growing as well. So right now, if you're operating at 15%, profit margin, as your gross grows, that it shouldn't stay 15%. It should go up to 20, 25, 30, 35%. My business was right around 45% profit margin without me being in there at all. And that's the best thing about our business model, is that as our gross revenue grows, so does our profit margin. If you're like in the hair salon business, you're going to get 11 to 12% profit margin no matter how much you grow your business, because every time you get more customers, you have to get a new stylist, you have to get more product, your water bill goes up, your energy bill goes up, everything goes up at the same percentage, so you're always making that 12%. So that's one of the best things about our business model, is that as our gross grows, our profit margin should as well. And then the most important number is going to be our net revenue, like how much money is your business actually profiting each month. And I don't count the money that I take home. I count how much the business is netting, because I want the business equity to grow, because in the future I want the business to be able to support itself. I want it to support its own growth. So for hiring new trainers or buying new equipment or opening up a second location, I want the equity in the business to keep growing. So you want to track the total net revenue. And again, the very basic number that you should know any time of the day is how many total number of members that you have and how many people you're helping. You want to also know the total number of new members that you got that month, the number of cancellations, and then of course the total net members. And for me, like I said, ours was 10. If we were hitting 10, if I know we got 10 a net of 10 new members each month, I know all the other numbers are probably right where they need to be. If not, I can go back through and look and see what went wrong and then address it. I would see these numbers on a Friday. I would meet with my assistant over the weekend, and then she would meet with all the trainers or whoever she needed to meet with in order to make the changes to get everything back on track. So if you have 100 members last month and this month you have 110, then if your goal was 10 to net 10 new members, then you know that you hit it. And all the other numbers lead up to that total net members, because that's like, what rate is my business growing each month? And that's basically it. If you can track these, then you can have a successful business. You know exactly what you need to do to grow it. You know what's going right, what's going wrong. And you should focus on these numbers. I think it was T. Harv Eker who said, like, whatever you focus on expands. So if you look at these and you obsess with these numbers, then your subconscious mind is going to just be thinking about it all day long, and you're going to be coming up with solutions on how to fix whatever issues that you're having. And then the other saying, I can't remember who said it, is like, what can be measured can be improved. So if you're not measuring your success in your business, it's impossible to improve those numbers. I mean, looking at these numbers for the first time, with my coaching clients, it's a painful process with them. A lot of them are embarrassed to look at it. They don't want to know. I'm like, so what are you doing every day? They're just like, I'm just hustling, I'm just doing stuff, I'm just trying and seeing what works and what doesn't. And I'm like, well, how do you know what's working and what doesn't? So this is, if you're not doing this in your business, you should stop everything else you're doing and get this, put together, because it is impossible, to grow your business without knowing these numbers. It's kind of like, telling a client, to go to just go to the gym and just run around a little bit, grab some weights, and we'll hope something good happens. We'll hope you lose some weight. If they know that they need to lose 5 pounds a week, and it's halfway through the week and they've only lost 1, they know they need to do more cardio, or they know they need to eat less. If they just, they're just running and running and don't check anything, and then at the end of the month they're like, oh, I didn't hit my goal, they don't really know why, and they don't really know what to do. They're just hoping, and we don't want to hope in business. We want to know, even if it is painful. So get these numbers. You want to track these numbers and then figure out, where the holes are in your business, and then shore those holes up. And I would love to help you identify what those holes are in your business. And so what I've done, well, first of all, if you have any questions about anything that I just went over, leave a comment in the section, leave your question in the comment section below. But I would love to help you identify whatever those holes are in your business. So I've set aside a few hours to talk with you, and there's a link, in the description of this video that you can click and schedule a call with me. And I would love to sit down and talk with you, see where you are in your business, and see if we are a good fit to work together. And I can tell you a little bit about my Inner Circle coaching program. So click the link and schedule a call. I look forward to talking to you. Talk to you soon.